Senator Klobuchar is next.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And
Ms. Yates, there you go.
okay, good.
That's Ms. Klobuchar.
To see you, Ms. Yates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to take a moment, having been listening to the last questions, I want to take a moment to actually thank you for your dedicated service to our country. I have spent some time in your state of Georgia and know how respected you are from your time as U.S. Attorney on both sides of the aisle, and also all that you did is such an example for career employees in the Justice Department, because that was you, and you've spent your career working on justice. And so I want to thank you for that, and don't want the people watching this hearing to have a different impression of you, who I greatly admire. And I think it's really important as we look at Senator Hawley's questionings, not to lose sight of the context in which the investigations into Michael Flynn and Carter Page took place, which was a concerted Russian effort to interfere with our elections, an effort that continues to this day. We all know that. Many of us, it's been public, and we recently had some classified briefings that I can't go into, but we know this is continuing. As Deputy Attorney General, you received and reviewed intelligence about Russian interference in our 2016 election and helped to coordinate the response. What was your understanding of that attack, which, by the way, has been verified by Trump intelligence officials, people that were appointed by this president, including Dan Coates, the director of intelligence, who once said that they were emboldened and getting bolder, including Christopher Reyes said similar things. Has the United States ever confronted a coordinated effort by a foreign power of this magnitude to interfere in our election?
Well, first, let me thank you for your very kind words, Senator Klobuchar. I really appreciate that. But secondly, your point is actually spot on. That the attack, and let's be really clear about this. This was an attack on our democracy. And this attack was absolutely unprecedented. The Russians were coming at us with through multiple means. There was an organized effort to break into the DNC and to hack the emails and to systematically release them. There was a social media campaign aimed at Hillary Clinton. As I said, they were monkeying around in the state election systems. All of this is going on. And then we find that it is for the purpose of trying to put the thumb on the scale for one particular candidate here to try to aid the election of Donald Trump and to hurt Hillary Clinton. And then beyond that, we find out then early on from Mr. Papadopoulos that the Russians had actually reached out to the Trump campaign prior to this release of emails, offering and suggesting that they could assist with the anonymous release of emails. So this was an unprecedented attack on our democracy and an investigation that required all of the intel community and everybody else to really bore down on this to try to figure out what happened.
And when you last testified before this committee in May of 2017, we talked about the dangers of having a high-ranking security official like former National Security Advisor Mike Flynn caught on tape with a foreign official saying one thing in private and then caught in public saying another thing to the Vice President of the United States. That would be Vice President Pence. Just so we are clear on the dangers of national security officials being compromised in this way, can you talk about the national security risks of blackmail?
You know, this is a classic technique of the Russians. Look, you don't want anybody within the U.S. government to be compromised with a foreign adversary. But here, our great concern was that the Russians knew that General Flynn had not only engaged in these back-channel discussions with him, but that he was misleading. He had lied about it to the vice president and others. And beyond just lying to them, he had actually sent them out to lie to the American people about it.
Remember that case with the vice president who didn't know, and he was lied to by Flynn. Mm-hmm.
That's right. And it seems like a lifetime ago right now, but this was a big thing at the time. And exactly the kind of thing that we were fearful about. It would give the Russians potentially leverage over General Flynn.
And just last things I wanted to ask about here is the special counsel found that Russian interference in our election was, quote, sweeping and systematic. And the investigation ultimately, as you know, resulted in 34 indictments of individuals and convictions of 6 of the president's associates advisors on federal charges. Are you aware of any facts that call into question the finding in the special counsel's report that the Russian government interfered in the 2016 presidential election in sweeping and systematic fashion, or that the Russian government perceived it would benefit from a Trump presidency and work to secure the outcome?
No, not only am I not aware of anything inconsistent, I believe that the bipartisan Senate Intelligence Committee came to the same conclusion.
They did. Are you aware of any facts that call into question the assessment of FBI Director Wray that Russia's interference in our elections is ongoing and that its interference in the 2018 midterms was, in his words, a dress rehearsal for the 2020 elections?
No, and in fact, I think that's something that we all need to really be vigilant about, is that this is not just something that happened in the past. This is happening right now as we sit here today.
Exactly. And in fact, that there are people that have been appointed by President Trump who are well aware of this and actually working to make sure that a foreign country is not able to influence our election. But as you know, one of the ways they do this is not just trying to hack into all 50 states' election systems, which they tried. It is also about what goes out on social media. And so that is where a lot of our education efforts have to go, because a lot of the stuff is just false, things that people say about candidates. Are you aware of any facts that call into question the findings in the special counsel's report that lay out more than 120 contacts between the Trump campaign back in that time period of 2016 and individuals linked to Russia?
No, I'm not.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.